This is the main event of the evening.
This video is brought to you by Cafe Bustelo. What's going on, world? What's cracking, gang? What's the deal? It's everybody's favorite Unk. And today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 wrestling figures of 2023. Now guys, I'm really excited about this one. I decided to make my top 10 wrestling figures list separate from my top 10 figures list. I figured since there's just so much that comes out with wrestling every year that it's not really fair, I think, to kind of put it in the same category as everything else, because you have so much more of a pool to draw from, especially with Mattel. Jazzwares as well, but especially with Mattel. So there's not really as many rules for this one as there was for the last video. The only rule I really have is that it has to be something that released this year and a figure that I own. I'm not going to put any figures in here that I don't own. I feel like that's cheating, like I said last video. And the other rule is that it's going to be all brands. So, you know, all the brands I collect, which are AEW Jazzware stuff, Mattel WWE stuff, and the Boss Fight stuff. I don't have any of the Power Town stuff. I don't do major bendies or any of the vintage stuff like that. So this is strictly going to be for those three brands as well. Now that we got that out the way, let's get it cracking. Let's go! All right, first guys, I'm gonna start with some honorable mentions, man. And my first honorable mention I have to mention is the Raw 30th Anniversary 3-pack 1, 2, 3 Kid. Man, I think that this figure is one of the most slept on elites all year. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, and I just love this figure. Now, the thing with WWE figures in general and most wrestling figures is there's a lot of reused parts on this body. It's pretty much a repaint of that original 1, 2, 3 Kid. But what makes this one special to me is that head sculpt, man. The head sculpt on this one looks just like Shawn Waltman. It's so good, and it's so much better than his previous figure as well. And I would argue that this is one of his most iconic attires as the Lightning Kid when he went up against Razor Ramon for the, $10,000 or whatever back in the day on Monday Night Raw. So I had to give a shout out to the Raw 30th Anniversary 1, 2, 3 Kid. Awesome figure. For the next figure on my honorable mentions list, this one took me by surprise. It's the Boss Fight Studios Ultimo Dragon. Man, love this figure. The only issue with these figures is that they're kind of lacking in the articulation department, but they're at a lower price point. They're about the same price point as the AEW stuff. I think it was 21 bucks for this one after tax. But the paint, the details on this one for such a budget type figure are amazing. Just a few things that kept this out of my top 10, but I really love the Ultimo Dragon as well. So this one kind of scratches the nostalgia itch for me. But yeah, the Boss Fight Ultimo Dragon, awesome figure. If you don't have it, definitely pick it up. And I'll be looking forward to a lot more from Boss Fight Studios coming in 2024. Another honorable mention I wanted to mention for this year was the Walmart exclusive Ultimate Rob Van Dam. Now, before we hop into the list, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, there's not gonna be many Walmart exclusives on this list, especially from WWE, because man, it has been like finding a shiny fucking Pokemon looking for that Brock Lesnar, looking for that Rey Mysterio, and especially that Eddie Guerrero. I haven't seen the Eddie or the Rey in stores ever, period. So those aren't gonna be on this list, but I did have to give a shout out to Rob Van Dam. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, great figure, love the attire. I just wish that it would have came with an ECW championship belt as well. But yeah, for another honorable mention, I had to throw on the Ultimate Rob Van Dam. All right, guys, we made it through the honorable mention, and now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, and that's the top 10 wrestling figures of 2023. But before we do that, if you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to drop a like and a sub on this video. Every little bit helps, as I'm still a growing YouTube channel. But anyway, leave your list in the comments below too. Let's see how ours compare. Let's get this party started though, and we're gonna start at number 10. Coming in at number 10, man, is the Target exclusive Ultimate Rock. Now, caveat for this one, my little brother actually gave me this figure, but he kept these sweatpants so he could put them on another figure. So I don't have the sweatpants, but I love this figure, man. We get about 1 billion Rocks, 1 billion Stone Colds, 1 billion Hulk Hogans, Undertakers every single year. But for my money, this is your definitive Attitude Era Rock right here. These faces are amazing, and the cool thing about these head sculpts are you can use them on any other Rocks from this era, and it just makes sure the Rock collection looks so much more complete. After buying this figure, I probably don't need to buy another The Rock figure for a very, very long time. The soft goods are awesome. The way Mattel has been able to kind of improve their soft goods over time has really been something to watch, man. And I will tell you right now, I think that Mattel has the best soft goods in the action figure game. But yeah, man, there's not much more I can say about this figure. If you're a Rock fan, and especially if you're an Attitude Era collector, this is a must-have for your collection. So coming in at number 10 is the ultimate Target exclusive, The Rock. Coming in at number 9, we go to the Target exclusive Legends Elite line, and it's going to be the Paul E. Dangerously. And man, this one for me personally, like if this list wasn't as objective as I wanted it to be, this would be a lot higher, man, because I am a huge Paul Heyman fan, a huge ECW fan, and this was playing all the hits for me. My only downside to this figure was that I wish they made a chase with the black suit, because the gray suit kind of reminds us more of his WCW run when he was the manager for the Dangerous Alliance. And that's also something really cool, because this year in that Elite Series 100 set, we did get a stunning Steve Austin that pairs perfectly with this figure. But yeah, man, what is there to say about Paul E? Mattel does great on these suited bodies as well. They're just so much fun to pose around and play with. And that ECW hat, man, the breakaway cell phone. This thing is just awesome. Such a unique set of accessories with this one. And if you didn't get this one, man, I highly recommend it. One of the best Paul Heyman figures we've gotten to date. And like I said, I just really wish we would have got a chase. Maybe eventually they'll give us that black trench coated version of Paul Heyman. Here's the hoping for 2024. But coming in at number 9 is the Elite Legends Target exclusive Paul E. Dangerously. All right, coming in at number 8, we go back to the Target exclusive Elite Legends line. If you don't know by now, I love the Elite Legends line. But this one was one that I was super stoked for, and that is the Chase DLo Brown. Now, I didn't get a chance to pick up the normal Nation of Domination version of DLo, but this is the version that I wanted the most, because this is the DLo of my childhood. I started watching in like late 97, but this version of DLo Brown coming out doing the head shake, you're fucking with the real deal now. Yo, that was my guy, man. This figure is awesome. The one thing that shines above and beyond on this figure is definitely the head sculpt. They got DLo's likeness down to a T, and this thing is just so sick. I really wish I could have picked up a second version in box to maybe get signed one day, because I really do enjoy DLo. I'm a huge DLo Brown fan, but this thing is going to be a must for your Attitude Era collection. This is only the second DLo we've gotten in his singles attire, I believe, in the Elite line. So like I said, man, if you can pick this one up, definitely do it. But coming in at number 8 is the Target exclusive Legends Elite DLo Brown. All right, guys, we're getting into the nitty gritty now. We're getting into the top 7, and coming in at number 7 was another one that could have been higher for me, but looking at my list objectively, I had to drop him a little bit lower, and that is the Defining Moments Shawn Michaels. That's right, this year we saw the return of the Defining Moments line in all of its glory, and man, oh man, was that first wave a banger. The Shawn Michaels in this set is so awesome. These soft goods are so great. This is his 1997 Royal Rumble look. I believe it was the Royal Rumble, correct me if I'm wrong, against Sid Vicious for the World Heavyweight Championship in Texas. And man, oh man, this attire is beautiful. I've been waiting for the Shawn Michaels attire for a very, very long time. The articulation on this figure is so damn good, and it's so awesome when we get a Shawn Michaels that they give the cloth and entrance pants to, so you can actually do his Heartbreak Kid pose. Man, oh man, had so much fun with this figure, the cowboy hat. The one thing about this figure that I wish was different is that I wish that they added an additional head sculpt, because the head sculpt on this one, while the likeness does look a lot like HBK, it's just kind of soulless and doesn't really have any real personality. I wish they would have gave us like a smirking face, or maybe like a mouth open face, something like that. And this is the Defining Moments line, so we should be getting a little bit more for our buck. So here's the hoping that in the future, as in 2024 coming up, they give us a few more accessories in the Defining Moments line. But coming in at number 7 is my second favorite wrestler of all time, the Elite Defining Moments, Shawn Michaels. Now coming in at number 6, we go back to the Raw 30th Anniversary 3-pack, and we are looking at the Elite Undertaker that comes in this 3-pack. I also wanted to like pair it with that Ultimate Undertaker that came with the Gobbledygooker, because they really are kind of an Undertaker from the same era. One is just an Ultimate, one's an Elite, one I don't have, one I do have. So I'm using this one. But when it comes to an Elite Undertaker, I think this is literally the best Undertaker we've ever gotten in the Elite line. His articulation is so buttery smooth, everything moves great. The cloth goods on this are so awesome. I don't know if there's like a difference between the cloth goods that they use for certain figures than for others, but for some reason the jacket on this Undertaker is flawless, man. And it's just a plain black piece of cloth, but the way it sits on the figure, it just feels so nice. It feels high quality. He comes with multiple sets of hands, everything you need. The tie is cloth goods as well. I think for your money, if you don't have that gobbledygooker 2-pack, and you do want that 1, 2, 3 kid and that Razor Ramon, definitely pick up this 3-pack because this Undertaker to me was the highlight of the 3-pack. The 1, 2, 3 kid has grown on me as the year has gone, but yeah, man, this Undertaker, one of the best elite Undertakers you can get, and for me, my definitive mid-90s Undertaker. All right, we're getting into the top 5, and if you put your list in the comments down below, if you haven't, definitely drop it down there. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a debate. Let me know what you think of my list so far. Is it trash? Is it ass? Is it nice? Would you watch it twice? Let me know. But anyway, let's hop into the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is a figure that I was not planning on getting. I actually ended up picking up one to use as a custom, and I just kept it how it was because I loved it so much. And that is the Ultimate Bret Hart with the pink jacket on. Man, I already had 2 Bret Harts and I didn't think I needed another Bret Hart. I was gonna make a custom Owen and use this body for it. But oh my goodness, when I got this figure in the mail, I was just floored at how awesome it was. From the minute details and the paint to the articulation. You know, the drop down hips I'm not a huge fan of. They still gotta grow on me with these Ultimates. But this Bret Hart, for my money, another one that can be your definitive Bret Hart in your collection. And much like The Undertaker and Stone Cold and The Rock, like I said earlier, we do tend to get a lot of Bret Harts, but I do think that his figures for the most part are pretty spot on. The face likenesses on Bret Hart still need a little bit of work, so hopefully when we get that late 90s Bret Hart that's coming out in the Ultimate line with the black jacket and the black pants, that's my definitive version of Bret Hart. I'm gonna have to get another Bret Hart even though I already have too many in my opinion, but hopefully we can see the faces kind of start to improve. But that's the one downside of the Bret Hart figures, is the faces are never exactly right. But man, I love this one, and I love how they do the jackets on the Ultimates, that you can plug the arms in and out from the jacket. For certain characters, it just works better than a full-on cloth jacket, and I think for this Bret Hart, they made the right decision doing that. So coming in at number 5, just rounding out the top 5, is the Ultimate Bret Hart. Coming in at number 4, the first AEW Jazzwares appearance on the list is the AEW Unmatched Series Malachi Black. It was unmatched, unrivaled, I can't remember. And I do know there was also a Supreme for this one, so you could shoehorn in the Supreme as well, whichever one you have. I have the unmatched version. My little brother has the Supreme actually, so I have got to mess around with that one. But man, you want to talk about just the beauty of an action figure, man. This Malachi Black, until I got another figure that's on this list, spoiler alert, was my favorite AEW figure that I own. They got the detailing on the tattoos so perfect, and I love that when you bend and crunch back and forth his ab area, you can see the tattoo continue so it doesn't break up the sculpt. The soft goods, or excuse me, the rubber goods, the Polly Pocket jacket that comes with him is very, very malleable and bendable, so you can put him in an Indian style pose with the jacket on and it won't impede it at all. The mask with the little wash and the shading and the dry brushing on it, everything on this figure just looks so awesome, man. And you can tell that the team at Jazzwares knew that they were going to hit a home run on this one. Like, this is one of those things where when you're making it, you can probably tell, like, man, this is going to be really cool. And it came out really damn cool. So kudos to the Jazzwares team on that one. The AEW Unmatched Malachi Black comes in at number 4. Now we're getting down to the top 3, man, and I'll tell you, man, to make it in the top 3, you had to be a really special figure this year because, man, of everything that came out, it's been a crazy year. But like I said, this is my list. This is what I bought. Put your list down below. But let's hop into the top 3. So coming in at number 3 was the figure that surprised me the most of any figure on this list. When I picked this guy up and I opened him up out of the package, I was like, wow, I didn't know that this is the figure that I needed in my collection that I never had. And that is the Elite Series 104, I believe it was 104 or 103, Rick Steiner. Yo, when I tell you, it does not matter about anything else on this figure but that Polly Pocket leather jacket. The way this jacket is painted and detailed with the dogs on the side of the shoulders and the colors in the front, it just pops on the shelf. This to me is one of the highlights of my WCW collection right now, and I was never even that big of a Rick Steiner fan, and that's why this guy makes it in the top 3, because if it's a figure that I really didn't care about getting and I get it and it goes above and beyond even some of the ones that I was most anticipating for the year, why not put it in the top 3, man? If you don't have this Rick Steiner, and especially if you're an Attitude Era kid like myself, go pick it up right now. You're not doing yourself a service by leaving this guy out of your collection. Trust me, you won't regret it. Coming in at number 3, my most surprising, and honestly could have been higher if it wasn't for these next 2, number 3 figure of the year, the Elite Series, Rick Steiner. First time in the line too. Congratulations, Rick. All right, now we're getting down to the top 2, man, and honestly, I got really, really lucky because I just picked up one of these yesterday, and he wouldn't have been on the list unless I picked him up. So I had to do some shuffling around. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Coming in at number 2 is the WWE Ultimate Edition Seth frickin' Rollins. Man, what is there to say about this figure that hasn't been said? I said it once before on this countdown list. To me, Mattel is the best in the soft goods game right now, particularly when it comes to retail figures. I don't think anybody does soft goods as good as Mattel. Even on their Masters of the Universe stuff, they do a great job with the soft goods. But man, this robe is beautiful. It is the best piece of soft goods I have ever had the pleasure of playing with in my life, man. And this figure, it just plays all the hits, man. Now I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of this attire on Seth Rollins, but it looks so damn good. And the way that the colors pop and complement that jacket, everything is just painted to the most minute detail. The articulation is great. Like I said, drop down hips, still got to get used to them. These face sculpts are amazing. Literally the best Seth Rollins face sculpts they've ever done. They got the chest hair right. I will say this is my little brother's copy. So the head sculpts have, you know, a little bit of a blonde wash that he put in them. But man, that just brings it even more to life. I can't say enough good things about this figure, man. To me, this is the best Ultimate Edition of the year, and definitely a must-have, whether you're a modern or an old-school wrestling collector. Like, I mostly collect the Elite Legends, you know, guys who don't wrestle anymore, but this is one of those that you need to have in your collection, so I highly recommend going out and picking up my number 2 wrestling figure of the year, the Ultimate Edition, Seth frickin' Rollins. Alright guys, if you put your list down below, if you haven't, definitely do that so we can have a discussion and let me know what you think so far. But without further ado, we're going to get into my number 1 wrestling figure of the year. And like I said, I didn't have this one until literally yesterday. And I was going to film this video literally yesterday. So I'm happy that I held off because my little brother CP Figs, I'm going to give him a shout out right here. CP Figs, go there for all your custom figures and all your action figure photography. He came through and he blessed me with an early Christmas gift. And that is my number 1 figure of the year, the AEW Supreme Collection, CM Punk. Good Lord, you want to talk about the hype being real. You want to talk about believing the hype. You want to talk about living up to the highest expectations. This figure is not only the best CM Punk action figure of all time, but it is the best AEW figure by Jazzwares ever. Hands down. I mean, the offering is so good. How can it not be? And AEW always knocks it out the park with these Supreme Editions. You get multiple head sculpts, you get the soft goods jacket, and a soft goods sleeveless shirt, and you get the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, plus a microphone, plus the go-to-sleep hands, plus the fist, plus the open hands. I mean, guys, what more can you ask for? Oh yeah, did I mention you also get the attire that he beat Hangman Page for the title in that black and gold, and you get the camo attire, and then you have other CM Punk figures from the AEW line. You can also mix and match those parts. Man, I can't say enough about this figure, and especially now with him jumping ship and going to WWE, having this figure just feels like you're in an exclusive club. And I know it wasn't as readily available a few weeks back, so people were actually finding them a lot less. But now that we're getting closer to Christmas, and this video might come out after Christmas, they're popping up all over the place. But still, man, if you see this guy, don't leave him on the shelf. Hell, pick up 2. I say keep one to rock, one to stock. Because for real, this thing is going to be one of the most sought after AEW figures to ever be released. I know that they're coming out with that the Ring of Honor Luminaries version of him pretty soon as well. But man, I would say skip out on that one and get this one. Because this is not only, like I said, the best CM Punk figure of all time, it's the best AEW figure that they've ever made. But anyway, guys, that's my top 10. That's my top 10, man. It was hard, man. A lot of good stuff came out this year. A lot of stuff that I missed out on, like I said. But this is what I bought. This is what I purchased. What was your top 10? Leave yours in the comments below. Let's have a discussion, man. Here's the hope in 2024 is that much bigger and that much better. Hopefully next year we can get some new contenders in the fight, more Boss Fight Studio stuff, you know, more Power Town stuff. Maybe we can do something like that. Maybe some major bendies. Maybe I'll expand the collection a little bit. But anyway, man, happy holidays to you. I don't know if this one's going to come out before or after Christmas, but if it does come out after Christmas, I hope everybody had a good one. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching as usual. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Leave a comment, sub to the channel. If you didn't like the video, dislike the video. Just know either way, I always appreciate you watching. And until next time, peace.